Edmonton's only LGBT plus hockey team is preparing to hit the ice this week for the start of its fourth season. And this year, more people than ever before are interested in joining the team. And we're joined by two of its members. Brett Stamm is the president and co-founder of the Edmonton Inclusive Hockey Association, and Jayson Buffalo-Yaghi is the goalie for Edmonton's LGBTQ plus team, the Edmonton Rage. Good morning to you both.
Good morning.
Good morning.
So, Brett, let's start with you. What inspired you to start this inclusive hockey team?
Myself and my partner at the time, still current partner. Myself and my partner, we were sitting at home one day and we just decided we're looking for a hockey team that we felt that we fit in. We're looking for that environment, so we started our own team, and what we thought would just be a hockey team with ourselves and our friends really turned into something which it is today. So.
And what is it exactly? How many people are involved? Are there multiple teams?
Yeah, so we just grew to 2 teams last season. We have approximately 80 players between our core players and spares. And we do a lot of off-the-ice events, community events, things like that.
And then who do you play with and against?
So we have our hockey teams are in a all-gender hockey league, men's type league, beer league, if you will. We're the token LGBT plus team of that league, and we just play other teams. We have tournaments across Alberta. That we work a lot with the Calgary Pioneers. They're an inclusive hockey team out of Calgary, and there's a huge subculture of LGBT plus hockey teams across North America. So we engage in tournaments with them.
So, Jayson, how did you first get involved, and why did you want to be a part of it?
I first got involved after a friend of mine from my team in the minors was playing with him. Up until then, I had not been back into hockey. It was a lot more difficult to find a team that I felt comfortable playing with that had some inclusive locker room talk on the team. There was definitely a backlog to be on the Edmonton Rage, especially for a goalie. There's quite a lot of interest in that regard. Put in a request last year, and as soon as the email came out that they were ready to take in a registration, and luckily got on with 3 other goalies. So we rotate through the 2 teams, the 4 of us. And it's just been good setting, good atmosphere to be on, and definitely get behind the message that they're trying to spread amongst the hockey league for sure.
Now, you mentioned, the talk in the locker room, and, hockey culture has been under the spotlight in recent years. So how does having a team like the Rage, remove some of the barriers for folks who are interested in playing hockey, but, they feel maybe pushed out of that?
I think because of the Canadian stereotype, hockey's kind of gone under the radar for a long time in regards to its inclusivity. It's nice that it is under the spotlight now, especially with Luke Prokop kind of coming into the NHL. The Rage I found has been, because everyone that's on the team, whether part of the LGBT community, an ally, or a member of a different minority group, I think we all come from experience knowing how it feels to be excluded or to be kind of on the butt end of the jokes that typically go on. The biggest difference that I found in the locker room with the team is it's all about building each other up, raising each other up, making sure everyone feels welcomed and heard. Even when it comes to people that are just trying out hockey for the first time, they may not be as advanced as a player, but it's always focused on how we can grow each other as a team and as individuals. So I think that's been the biggest difference.
So when you were playing hockey in the past, did you find it difficult to handle what was going on in the locker room, the things that were said?
I think it definitely felt isolating for sure. When I'm on the ice, as a goalie, I don't really have to interact with many players, but in the locker room for sure was kind of off to the side and just head down, get dressed as fast as you can, get out on the ice and just kind of do what I'm there to enjoy. Whereas now it's more so, I take my time in the dressing room, getting dressed, and then after the game, kind of discussing the game with teammates, just discussing life with them, a lot easier, a lot more open for sure.
Well, it's a great part of the game to be in the locker room with your friends and having that interaction. I mean, and if you can't have that, kind of ruins it for you, I would think.
Yeah, for sure. Kind of defeats the whole team camaraderie there. Yeah.
So, Brett, how do you make sure you engender that sort of feeling and the that safe space for people to play?
It really comes down to living our core values. Every player in our sign-up process signs the You Can Play pledge. They know right from the get-go what we're about, and that we're respectful on and off the ice first, and bully-free environment, and all-inclusive of everyone. Really stressing that you don't have to be LGBT plus to play on our team. We have several people who do not identify as part of the community as allies on the team, and they're just as respectful and inclusive as everyone else. So it's great to have everyone.
I mean, I would think that obviously somebody who wants to join your team is going to have that ethos, that they're going to know that, yeah, this is how we're going to operate and this is how I want to be. So the other teams you play against may not, but at the same time, does it sort of, because they know who they're playing and why you're there, do you think it spreads that out even further beyond your team?
That's our goal for sure. Sometimes we do see some things on the ice that's definitely not part of that, but of course we're there to spread the message that hockey's for everyone, and the league we're in as well is very welcoming of us and our mission as well, with the referees and officials taking hate language and things like that very seriously. So we know we're in a safe place, and our players, I feel like our players do as well.
Now, recently the NHL decided they're not going to have pride jerseys anymore. I'm not sure if you had discussed that or thought about it, or when you heard the news, what you thought about it. Jayson, what are your thoughts on that?
I think it's kind of a hit or miss. It's not something you want to force on people, because then that creates resistance to it. I think the Edmonton Oilers is a great example of a team that genuinely stands behind the message, as opposed to a team feeling like they're forced to or have to. I think the more teams that kind of come out on their own and speak up and say, you know what, we're going to be, regardless if we can have a jersey night, we're still going to have a pride night, or, breast cancer awareness night, whichever one it may be, something that they genuinely stand behind, I feel spreads the message a lot more powerfully than your boss upstairs kind of saying, hey, wear this jersey, support this thing. I think it makes a big difference on that. Especially with the political climates going on as well, it definitely makes a statement in that regard.
What would you say to the average hockey player who plays in a beer league and may not be aware of everybody in their locker room, may not all share the same, feelings about different things, and how that inclusive sort of feeling and reaching out to teammates, maybe have them think about that they might not otherwise do.
I think so. Someone that would be part of the LGBT in a different locker room. I think it's just a matter of having the discussion like we are today here, that we have with other organizations as well. A lot of times things stem from ignorance and just not knowing, and just having a conversation, kind of hearing the other side without judgment, at least gets the ball rolling to having a better understanding. Most of the time, people don't want their teammate to feel excluded, or their coworker, or whatever it is, but they don't realize the actions or the language that they use in regular everyday conversation kind of creates that divide. And I think the more that we speak out about it, the more we speak up about it, and just try to have, discussions and see everyone's point of view is what will get us to a more inclusive society in general.
So, Brett, if people wanted to join the Rage, how could they do that?
They can sign up. Our registration link is on our website, www.edmontonrage.ca. Sign up. We're always accepting new players. You can message us on our socials, Instagram and Facebook. Links are on the website.
And you got games coming up. When you get on the ice?
I believe the 7th.
Yeah. So not you, Jayson. You got a knee injury right now, right?
I'll be cheering from the sidelines.
Well, it was a great season this year. Thanks so much for coming in this morning. We appreciate it, and have a great day.